जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्री अभयचरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीपीटी फाउंडर आचार्य जगत गुरु महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto entitled Creation, chapter number 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, text number 33. Atha duragatan shaurihi kauravan virahaturan sannivartya दृढ़ं स्निग्धान प्रायै स्वनगरीं प्रियैः अथ दूरगतान् शौरिः कौरवान् विरहातुरान् सन्निवर्त्य दृढ़ं स्निग्धान् प्रायात् स्वनगरीं प्रियैः अथ दूरागतान् शौरिः कौरवान् विरहातुरान् सन्निवर्त्य दृढ़ं स्निग्धान् प्रायात् खनगरीं प्रियैः अथ दूरागतान् शौरिः कौरवान् विरहातुरान् सन्निवर्त्य दृढ़ं स्निग्धान् प्रायात् स्वनगरीं प्रियैः। सन्निवर्त्य दृढान् स्निग्धान् गतिं प्रिये अथ दूरगतान् शौरिः माताजी गतां शौरिः अथ thus Duragatan, having accompanied him for a long distance, Shaurihi, Lord Krishna. This word Shauri also comes in the 10th canto, where at the time of birth of Lord Krishna, when Krishna appeared as the four-handed form of Lord Narayan, and he is talking to Vasudeva and Devaki, that time Krishna, that time Shukadeva Goswami mentions that Tatascha Shauri, that time it is referred to Vasudeva. Kauravan, the Pandavas. Now, Kaurav is the dynasty, and that's why, otherwise many people may get confused that the word is Kauravan, but how it is translated as Pandavas, because it is contextual. Like, actually, the dynasty is Kuru dynasty, and both Kauravas and Pandavas, they are from the same dynasty, Kuru dynasty. So Kauravas can be referred to Pandavas also. virahaturan, overwhelmed by a sense of separation. Sannivartya, politely persuaded. Dridham, determined. Snigdhan, full of affection. Prayat, proceeded. Swanagarim, towards his own city, Dwarka. Priyahi, with their companions. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The translation: out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, who were of the Kuru dynasty, accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwarka with his dear companions. Who are the companions with Krishna? Uddhava came, right? Uddhava came to receive, and who else? Who has come from Dwarka to receive Krishna from? So Uddhava, I know, but I forgot the other name. So this verse doesn't have purpose, so I'll read the next one. Kurujangal Panchalan, Shurasenan Sayamunan, Brahmavarta Kurukshetra Matsyan Saraswatanatha, Marudhanva Matikramya, Sauvirabhirayoh Paran, Anartana Bhargavopagachrantau Baho Manag Vibhu. Translation: O Shaunak, the Lord then proceeded towards Kurujangal, Panchal, Shurasena, the land of the bank of the river Yamuna, Brahmavarta, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Saraswata, the province of the desert, and the land of scanty water. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Sauvira and Abhira provinces. Then, west of these, reached Dwarka at last. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The provinces passed over by the Lord in those days were differently named, but the direction given is sufficient to indicate that he traveled through Delhi, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Saurashtra, and Gujarat, and at last reached his home province at Dwarka. We do not gain any profit simply by researching the analogous provinces of those days up to now, but it appears that the desert of Rajasthan and the provinces of scanty water like Madhya Pradesh were present even 5,000 years ago. The theory of soil experts that the desert developed in recent years is not supported by the statements of Bhagavatam. We may leave the matter for expert geologists to research, because the changing universe has different phases of geological development. We are satisfied that the Lord has now reached his own province, Dwarka Dham, from the Kuru provinces. Kurukshetra continues to exist since the Vedic age, and it is sheer foolishness when interpreters ignore or deny the existence of Kurukshetra. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this is the time when Krishna is departing from uh, the Kuru provinces, and he is going towards his home. Now, one of the reasons given by Madhvacharya why Krishna came in Hastinapur after the war was over, because Krishna also thought that, my devotees Pandavas, they are victorious now. The war is over, but there is a chance that if I leave them at this moment, after the victory has been achieved, but because so many people have been displeased because of such a massacre of uh, so many people who died at the battlefield, so Krishna thought that there is going to be a reaction, and Krishna doesn't want that his dearmost devotees to face it by themselves. So Krishna accompanied. One of the most important reasons that Krishna went back to Hastinapur and spent so much time, with Pandavas is that. And as we have heard from Mahabharata, that when they first met Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, for they were so heartbroken because 100 sons were killed, and they were not killed like like normal killing. They were really brutally killed by Bhima. So Dhritarashtra, he said that, where is Bhima? I want to embrace him. My dear Bhim, come here. And Bhima was innocently about to go to Dhritarashtra, thinking that my uncle, he wants to give me an innocent hug. But then Krishna stopped. Krishna said, you don't know how saintly he is. So, before you go, Krishna asked him to give a statue. There was a, statue. In those days, they were practicing all the, fighting and all with the statues. So there was a statue laying there. So Krishna said, just put forward this statue. And then as soon as Dhritarashtra, he embraced that statue, he wanted to crush it. He wanted to crush Bhima. He thought that's Bhima. And then the statue was completely broken into pieces. And then Krishna looked at Bhima and he smiled. See, that's why Krishna came actually, to protect the devotees. Even after the war has been fought, the victory has been achieved, and Pandavas have become the kings, but still there is danger. And Madhvacharya glorifies Krishna's this quality, that he does not leave his devotees at any moment. Devotees are sometimes, we think that now I am in a safe spot. I am very safe, or sometimes this is the happiest moment. But Krishna knows the bigger picture. Like, we may think something like man has a plan, but God has master plan. So Krishna also wanted to protect these devotees, because Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they were burning from inside. And as from the perspective of Mahabharata, that ultimately Gandhari, cursed. But she did not curse Bhima, who killed 100 of her sons, nor Yudhishthir, who was going to be the future king for whom everything happened. But ultimately she ended up cursing Krishna, because Krishna wanted to be at the front. And even he was ready to receive the curse, which was meant for actually the Pandavas. So that is how Krishna has been glorified. And that's why he spent so much of time in Hastinapur. And now when he is leaving, his associates from Dwarka, they are also in so much separation, and future separation is awaiting for the devotees of Hastinapur. So these Pandavas, they have been mentioned here. Their love has been mentioned as Snigdhan. They were full of affection. Snigdha is a type of, it's also a type of food item. That is Snigdha means very thick. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that Snigdha is type like a ghee. The ghee is that comes in the category of snigdha, which is very thick. So the love of the Pandavas has been described here as snigdha. Their love is very thick for Krishna, and that's why they are overwhelmed by the sense of separation that is coming. So Pandavas, their hearts were already, having so much of separation for Krishna that now we are going to miss him because he is going to go now. And then Krishna is finally, he leaves after promising that he will be back soon to see them. And Krishna is being accompanied by Uddhava and all the other associates who have come. And then he is going through all these provinces. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that these provinces, even though the names have changed, the Hastinapur has become Delhi now, and all the names have been changed, but still we can see that the desert land is still the same, And Prabhupada actually here, he's condemning that some of the geologists, they claim that the desert was formed recently because of geological development. That's the claim that some of the scientists and some of the geologists, they do that. They say that it has been recently formed. How that means Bhagavatam is not right. That's what their claim is. So Srila Prabhupada has given in many of his purports that these scientists or some different varieties of people will always challenge the scriptures. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that there are three types of analysis or three types of accepting anything. That the first one is Pratyaksha Praman. How will you accept something? Pratyaksha Praman means you see it yourself and then only believe. As many times in the world you see Pratyaksha Praman is very prominent. They say that, oh, I have not seen this thing from my eyes, so I don't believe. I don't believe there is a God because I have not seen him. That is Pratyaksha Praman, which is not very trustworthy because we have not seen so many of microorganisms. We have not, like, we feel the air, but we don't see it. Everybody says that, my heart, I love you, my heart belongs to you, but who has seen their heart? Right? So the people in this world, they, many times they themselves believe without actually seeing the things. And even if you want to follow Pratyaksha Praman, it has a limitation because our senses are limited. The eyes that we have, they can see only a particular range, They cannot see a microscopic object, nor can they see beyond a certain distance. The same way our ears are also limited. They cannot hear any sound that is not in the frequency 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. The scientists themselves have found out these things, that our senses are limited. But still they want to always, analyze, or they want to find it out themselves, which is not always the case because our senses are limited. The second type of acceptance is, after Pratyaksha Praman, there is Anuman Praman. Anuman means you speculate or you analyze things by yourself, by speculation, which is also not very trustworthy all the time. Because, for example, if a person wants to find out who is his father, so, he cannot find it out by himself. Like Pratyaksha Praman cannot work. Like he cannot really find, or even anuman praman. How will he speculate who is his father? He has to analyze all the men of the world and see whose face his, resembles to his face, or who is walking like him, talking like him, or so both of these do not really work. So the easiest way is Shabda Praman. Shabda Praman means you take the word from the authority as it is. Now that person who wants to find out who is the father, all he has to do is ask the mother. Mother is the authority. So once she tells, he can trust her. And the scriptures do the same job. They are giving us the Shabda Praman. Scriptures have been described as the mother of all the living entities. They are giving that knowledge. Who is the real father? And they are telling that the real father is Krishna. And that's how everything has to be accepted. That's why there is, parampara. We take the knowledge only from the parampara, because the knowledge is coming directly from Krishna. And whatever Guru tells is always completely in accordance with the Shastras. It always matches. That is why it is Shabda Praman. That's why we take the word of Guru as it is. So there are many people in the world, they have their own philosophies. Like there was one person, Friedrich Nietzsche. You might have heard about him. He said, God is dead. He proposed his own philosophy by his own speculation. So his philosophy is God is dead. He proposed this statement, and undersigned Friedrich Nietzsche. God is dead, undersigned Friedrich Nietzsche. And many people were angry. Some of them were happy about the philosophy. One day he himself met with an accident and he passed away. He died. And on his grave, people wrote that Nietzsche is dead, undersigned God. God can never die. Actually, he is the controller of everything. Just because you do not see God, just because right now you do not have access, to understand more about him, doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't exist. So God is always there. And how to understand this? Very easy thing is, if you just see the creation, if you just observe the creation, that's the actual motive of Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy is that you observe the creation of God, and you understand that there has to be God. There has to be a person who is maintaining everything, who is behind all this mechanism that is working perfectly. For example, like scientists claim that they can make any type of machine. They can, nowadays they have planes, they can, mobile phones, cell phones, and smartphones. Or one time, Prabhupada and his disciples, they were taking a walk, and that time one disciple showed Prabhupada a jet plane, and Prabhupada said that yes, there is, like, science has really gone, much ahead, but still God's greatness is not only one ways. Prabhupada said that Krishna has not just made big birds, they fly in the sky. Krishna has also made tiny little insects which can fly. Can scientists produce very tiny little insects? They fly. So Krishna's greatness is both ways. Krishna has created the best machine of all times. For that machine, all you have to do is feed some grass, some leaves, and then that machine gives you milk. That is the cow. Like, such a great creation that Krishna has, like you eat a banana, and the remnant, the covering, you can give it to the cow. Or sometimes people eat oranges, and the covering, they give it to the cow. So Krishna's creation is so perfect that you accept what you want, and even the leftover can be consumed by the other type of animals, and something productive will come out. And what man has made is like a, nowadays they have the mineral water. All of them, all the people carry the water bottles which are plastic. We consume the water, but we don't know what to do with the plastic. Rather, the plastic is something that doesn't, biologically decompose. So that is a big problem now. So man creates, but man's creation many times leads to further problems in the future. But God's creation is so perfect that everything is dependent, everything is mutually working out, and things are going. Like many people, that's why I say that Mother Nature is the God. Because of this, those people who have developed intelligence, those which are not so foolish not, to think that there is no God, they think that, oh yeah, there is a beautiful creation, this Mother Nature, from whom everything comes, including our own bodies. The bodies come, everything, all the fruits, all the vegetables, everything comes from the Mother Nature and ultimately goes back to Mother Nature. So that means Mother Nature has to be God. Like many people say that. To that, Srila Prabhupada says that that's right, that Mother Nature is producing everything. But Prabhupada mentions that everything material comes from Mother Nature, but there has to be a father. Prabhupada has a beautiful conversation. He said, so ask a woman to produce a child by herself. Is it possible? Whatever she does, she cannot produce a child without a man. The man has to give the seed, then only the child can be produced. So the same way, Mother Nature, she is the one giving everything, but she is not independent. There is Krishna, that he is the one who is Aham Bija Pradhapita. He is the one who is seed giving father of all the living entities. So that is very important to understand. And Prabhupada also asked the question that if the science has been so modified, like there is a conversation with Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. That time, Einstein is so intelligent. He did, so much for the progress of science. Then Prabhupada says, who produced the brain of Einstein? Did Einstein produce his own brain? And when he died, the brain was gone. If it was so important, why not the scientists transferred it to someone else? Who produced the brain? So Krishna gives all the facilities, even the brain by which we think has been given to us by Krishna. Not just that, he gives all the elements whose permutations and combinations the scientists do all the permutation and combination of the 24 elements that are given by Krishna originally. And then you go ahead. Like the building blocks have been given by Krishna. And then the scientists, they perform the later task. And then they deny the existence of God. So that's something very important. Srila Prabhupada also one time, he was looking at the setting sun. And it was very beautiful. And Srila Prabhupada said, you see this sun, it's an eye of God. So Krishna has two eyes, that is sun and moon, and with which Krishna sees all of you. So Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that. Then one disciple said that, Prabhupada, if the sun and the moon are the eyes of God, then where is the nose? Where are the lips? I want to see the entire picture. So that time Prabhupada said that once you come out of darkness, you will see the entire picture of Krishna. Because right now we are in darkness, so we cannot really see everything. For example, Prabhupada gives this example that in the dark, all you can see is the eyes of a cat. You cannot see the entire cat. You can only see the eyes because we are in darkness. So, the same way Prabhupada mentions that we are covered in the darkness of material energy. Krishna's illusory energy, which is darkness, because of which we cannot see Krishna. Otherwise, you can actually play with God. Prabhupada mentions you can talk with God, you can eat with God, and you can dance with God. The only problem is you are in darkness. Once this darkness is taken away, it is dispelled by the process of Krishna consciousness. Once the darkness is gone, then you will see everything clearly. Then you can perceive the spiritual world. You can see everything. So that's what Srila Prabhupada mentions. Just like, there is a beautiful um, message that I had read that, in the womb, there were twins. And both the children, both of the babies, they were thinking that we are in the womb. Everywhere it's all dark. And who knows what's going to happen to us? We are here for so long. There were twins, two babies in the womb. And they're thinking, is there anything outside? Is there anything beyond this deep, dark womb? Is there anything? So one child was, intelligent, and the other one was atheistic. The atheistic child was very negative. He used to think, he started saying that there is nothing beyond this. All you see, this all darkness, that's all it is. There is nothing beyond this. And one day, we're just going to die and everything is going to finish. But the other child, which was very intelligent, he said that no, that cannot be. Can't you feel that there is a mother? Can't you feel that there is something that is beyond this deep dark womb? I have felt the presence of the mother. Sometimes, I feel like she's trying to talk to us. Sometimes I feel her loving touch. And sometimes I feel that everything that we are being supplied in this womb is coming from the mother. But this other child was still, adamant, saying that there is nothing. It's like atheistic people, they want to deny the existence of God because they think that we have not seen God. But the other type of, the other baby actually signifies the devotees. Those who understand that at this moment we may be in darkness. At this moment we may be having so many problems, troubles, understanding who is God. We may be having so many miseries. Like in the womb there are so many insects biting and trying to eat the flesh of the baby. But definitely we are being supplied everything by God. There is someone who is trying to give us intelligence. There is someone who is providing us with all our needs are being satisfied by that person. That has to be God. So that is the devotees. These are the devotees. And then one day, when the time of birth came, both the babies started shouting, now I think the atheistic baby started to say that it's the end of everything. Now finally everything is going to be over. The other baby, which was devotee baby, he was like, no, this is the time we are going to meet our mother. This is like the best time. And the other baby is, no, this is the worst time. It's everything is over. No. And then the birth happened. And then both the babies actually saw the mother face to face. And that's exactly how the atheistic people of the world and devotees of the world, how they live this life and how they leave this body. Devotee has firm faith that at the end of my life, at the end of, when I'm about to quit my body, I'm going to see Krishna. I'm going to definitely go back to the spiritual world and I'm going to see Krishna face to face. Actually, Krishna is waiting for me at the end of this life. That's the faith of devotees. And the atheistic people, they have, they are thinking that there is nothing at the end of life. And that's why they are constantly being put into the cycle of birth and death. So they're constantly being handled by the law of karma. Whereas, devotees finally meet the ultimate mother, ultimate caretaker, ultimate best friend, ultimate father, that is Krishna. So that's how actually all of us, with this firm faith, having firm trust in the words of the spiritual master, in the books of Srila Prabhupada, every word of Srila Prabhupada that he has written in his books, by having the Shabda Praman, accepting the Shabda, the word of the spiritual master as it is, with firm faith, we also can achieve success in this life. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody has any question? Archita Prabhu and Maharaj.
Hi, Prabhu. Thank you for a nice class. That baby analogy was pretty nice, but someone may ask, because Prabhupada says that if you become pure, you will see Krishna face to face. So
Yeah.
someone may ask, well, if you have not seen Krishna before death, that means you're not pure enough to see him. What makes you think you're going to see him after death? See, that question could be asked. If you come back to full purity, Prabhupada says many times, you will see Krishna. You can see Krishna right now and talk to him. You don't have to wait for death, because that's one of the arguments that the atheists use. You guys are just dreaming pie in the sky that after death you're going to get this, you're going to go there, here, whatever. It's just a dream. Prabhupada said, no, if you purify yourself now, you will see God now.
Yeah.
So the question may be asked, if you have not seen God before death, what makes you think you're going to see him after death? In other words, if we weren't pure enough to see him in this life, what makes you think you're going to see him in the next life?
Yeah, that is also can be taken Shabda Praman, Antyakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. So Krishna's words, we have to take Krishna's words. That's again the question of Shabda Praman again. And we can see, like, there is a beautiful pastime of Srila Prabhupada. I don't remember who asked this question, maybe a reporter or a devotee, that Prabhupada, what will happen if at the end of our lives we come to know that everything is fake? Like there is no Krishna, there is nothing like spiritual world or nothing, whatever we followed. What if at the end we come to know that all we did was waste? So Srila Prabhupada gives a better, like amazing answer. Prabhupada says that the life that we have lived is so happy that at the end of our life, no one is going to be repentant. Because as a devotee, we are always happy. First of all, we in the morning itself, we have a big party. We have, so much of singing, dancing, and then, we have beautiful Krishna Katha. We hear different stories, and all of you are smiling right now, so I don't see anybody who is frustrated. So after that, there is Krishna Prasad. There is Krishna Prasad. Like we eat the best food and the best quantity. Like I don't see any problem in the type of life we live, right? So Srila Prabhupada mentions that even if suppose at the end you find out everything was, like everything doesn't exist, still a devotee has lived the best life, right? Like just imagine outsiders, people who are not dedicated their lives to Krishna, they may be happy for 5 years of their young, energetic body. But as soon as the young age, that covering is gone, then there is so many problems. Like right now, you may see a person jumping and dancing in the air and posting all the, nice pictures on the Facebook, Instagram. We think, oh, he's so happy. And he may say that, yeah, I smoke 20 cigarettes and I drink so much, I have so many girlfriends. But you just keep an eye on that person. The same person, after 10 years, he is the most miserable because all the girlfriends have left him and the cigarettes have caused, havoc in his body, and he is practically abandoned. Many times they don't get married, so they don't have anybody to look after at the, later stage of life. But devotees, they have a proper system. There is a marriage system given. There is later on Vanaprastha, Sannyasa ashram, and such a smooth life has been given to us by Srila Prabhupada that even if there is, even if somebody says that there is no God, there is no Krishna, but still the devotee has lived the best life, has eaten the best quantity of prasadam, best quality of prasadam, and what else do you want, right? So that's Srila Prabhupada has also given that Beautiful analysis. Anybody has Maharaj last comment and we'll stop.
Thank you for a very nice class. I just wanted to just add one little point, and that is even when Krishna appears before many of these people who are atheistically inclined, even then, although they have heard from numerous persons about numerous miracles that Krishna did, miracles that even no one has ever else said, for example, lifting of Govardhan Hill. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, fools deride me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be. So, so even when they see Krishna, even when Krishna does amazing things, even before their own eyes, if they see something which is miraculous, they will not attribute it to his own inner power. They will attribute it rather to some magic. Because we have magicians who do almost very similar things that make things disappear, make things appear, and so forth. So they will simply say, well, this is some... In fact, that's what Duryodhana said when Krishna visited Hastinapur in order to make a settlement, or at least try to make a settlement between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, so that there would not be a war. So Duryodhana wanted to do some mischief, arrest Krishna. So Krishna manifested his universal form right there before him. So what was the response of Duryodhana? Just magic. We have magicians who can do that. You see. So this is the problem. And the problem is basically wanting to lord it over the material world. When that desire is so strong, so overwhelming, so beyond their ability to control, then the necessity for them to see, to be atheistic is there. They have to be, because if they admit or concede that there is a God, then they can't think of themselves as a God. There can't be two gods. Okay, so therefore they deny, and that's basically what the whole problem is with the scientists. They cannot bear, they cannot stand, they cannot brook the idea that somebody can be a god outside of, beyond their wonderful experiments, which will change the whole world. They want to think that they're the ones who are going to change the world.
Yeah. I'll end that pastime I was telling of Prabhupada. Prabhupada later on said that all these other materialistic people who are trying to enjoy and lord it over, what if they realize at the end of their lives that everything that is spoken in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is right? Then they will be so much in trouble. What is awaiting for them is hell. So Srila Prabhupada ends there, like for a devotee, even at the time at the end you realize, but still devotee has lived the best life and he is going to have the best future. So that's the best advantage of being Krishna's devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.